Hey guys, really quick video because I'm getting lots of messages. I'm not around to message. I work and I'm just not around anymore as much as I was when I was ill. Obviously, when I was ill constantly, I was online all the time or trying to find answers. I'm not really around anymore. So I'm just making this video for people that message me how I got better. A lot of people say, what's the one thing that helped you get better? Or there wasn't one thing that helped me get better. This is really important to know. There's so many things that come down to it, okay? It is literally, I would say, the hardest fight of your life. I know that sounds dramatic, but it's true. It's the hardest thing you will probably ever have to do is healing from this, okay? So I can't tell most people how I got better because it took 8 years. This is over 8 years. I got better over 2 years to the point I wasn't dizzy constantly, okay? And I walked constantly. Every single day, as long as I didn't have jelly legs that were too severe, I was out walking. Now, I wouldn't avoid supermarkets. If I avoided supermarkets or cafes or things that would trigger me, I'm never going to get better because I'm never going to adjust. So in a way, it's almost like exposure therapy. You put yourself in those situations maybe for 10 seconds or a minute to begin with and build up over time. I call it exposure therapy. So that's how I got better, staying active. I tried meds. I'm not going to tell you what worked because nothing did work for me, to be honest. There wasn't one miracle drug. People think you're going to have one tablet, you take it, and then it would just cure your dizziness, which is what I believed as well. It didn't work like that for me. I had PPPD as well, long term. I was dizzy constantly every day, literally for 2 years. So when people say, how did you get better? There's so much you need to do. You have to fight for it. You have to fight for it. You do. That's how you get better. It's not like, you go for a walk one day and then you don't do any exercise for 2 weeks or any vestibular exercises or any kind of movement. You're not going to get better. It's very rare you're going to get better that way. You have to keep moving. You've got to stay active. You rest when you're tired. The moment you have a little bit more energy or you're not jelly-legged, do it again. This is just me, how I got better. Now, also avoiding triggers, avoiding stress, cutting people out of my life that were extremely stressful, that would cause migraines, avoiding putting myself in certain situations which are going to cause migraines. If I know I have to go to a kid's birthday party, for example, I'll leave a bit earlier. I'll make sure I have the next day where I can relax a little bit. I'll make sure I get a good night's sleep and I go to bed early. It's management. It's management of multiple things, including mental health. And mental health is huge because when I started to get better physically, my mental health declined massively because that's when I had the chance to think, I can never go back to my career. That's it. I won't be able to do computers anymore. I've lost my friends, I've lost my boyfriend, I had to move out of my home, I didn't have anywhere to live for a while. I did, but I had somewhere at the last minute, but there's so many things to getting better, and that's where it's a fight. It's a fight. There's not one thing. Now, I thought in the early days, literally, that I would just, in a month, I would get better. But to begin with, I thought, day 5, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and the dizziness will be gone. When it got to 1 month, I'm like, in 2 months, the dizziness will be gone. And I read so many people on migraine support groups that said they're 6 months in, a year in, 2 years in. And I was like, oh my God. And I think that's when it finally hit me. This could be the long haul. And that's when it really is important to realize it is probably going to be a battle, is in a long journey, probably a longer journey than you thought. It's going to take longer than a few months, highly likely. And that's when it's really important you do get that mental health aspect to it and you do get support and you tell family members if you feel low. So as you can see, guys, it's not a one hit for everyone. It's not just to take a magic pill and all of a sudden you wake up and you go back to work. If that was you, amazing. But with all the people in the migraine groups, and we have thousands of people, I haven't really heard that. I've heard people that have managed to go back to work after 6 months as well, even after a year, living quite normally. And the people I know now that are like me, that are active, going back to sports, they're traveling again. The people like that are living a fuller life again, okay, mentally, they have a different outlook. So I do realize there's two different mentalities. There's the mentality I had to begin with, where I was very much, obviously, a victim. Of course I felt like a victim. I lost everything. It's like, how could this happen to me? And I was in that mode for a long time, I'd say. And then I realized the other mode was people like that were getting out and, making themselves do some sports or vestibular exercises, and every day they do the same, and they try and look after their body, and they were doing a multitude of things. Okay, I was just angry and upset and depressed and angry, and all I could do was obsess over my symptoms and how I was feeling. It was only when, interestingly enough, when when I changed my mental outlook on the illness, I started to get better. So again, like I said, a multitude of things. It's exercising, it's avoiding triggers, it's avoiding stress in your life as much as you can. It might be cutting out people if you need to. There's so many parts to it, and that's why it will be the biggest fight of your life probably. Okay, but you can get there, guys. I just got back from traveling in Europe, like 3 countries, planes, trains, everything. Roller skating on ice. I just got back from ice skating. So yeah, it's possible for sure. I've literally got a whole new life now. I've got my own business now. I've got my own a new partner now. I'm a stepmom. It's insane, my life now, and I'm happier now. I'm so much happier now. But I will say the mentality, I did realise I had to change the mental side of it for me first. And what really helped me, guys, I was angry. I had so much anger that my life had been taken away from me that I kind of used that rage and that anger. This is how I did it. I'm not suggesting this. This is how it happened for me, that I pushed myself. And I'm like, do you know what? All my mates are going to a bar tonight. I'm dizzy as hell. I'm going to go anyway. I don't care. I'm going to go. And I did. Was I dizzy? Yes. I was really dizzy. But there was one point in the night where somebody told me a joke, and it was such a bad joke and it was so silly. I remember laughing so hard. For that small amount of time, I didn't realise I was dizzy. I forgot my symptoms. And I thought, I had a bit of a eureka moment then and thought, oh, wait a minute. That distracted me. And I for a second, I wasn't focused on my symptoms. And that was a breakthrough. Because then every single morning I'd wake up, and even though I was dizzy, I would literally ignore it. I'd be like, yeah, I'm dizzy. I've got tinnitus. My tinnitus is loud today. It's going to be a bad day. I get up, get some food, and again go for a walk. My anger kind of spurred me on. I'm going for a walk. I'm going to the park. And I look at the leaves. I look at the trees. What can I smell? And over time, I almost taught myself not to focus on the symptoms as much. Even though I was dizzy, I taught myself not to focus on the symptoms as much. And that's how I gradually got better. So it was the mindset of taking my focus off the dizziness and laying in bed and depression and everything. It was changing my mindset to something where I wasn't self-obsessed and I wasn't in victim mode constantly, because I was in victim mode. We are victims, to be honest. We are victims to begin with. But I think the question is, how long do you want to be in victim mode for? Do you want to try and do as much as you can and fight for this to recover? That's the thing. And we're all different. It's up to you. You know what I mean? We're all different here. But for me, I had to fight for it, and I had to fight effing hard. Okay? So that's where I am 8 years down the line, and I had to fight really, really hard. I had to go out my way to stay active. I didn't avoid dizzy situations. I didn't see friends that were really stressful anymore. I had to leave my job, but I managed to find other work as well. So that there's always a way. There will always be a way. There's always something that comes back. That can you think all hope has failed, and then there will be that little glimmer of hope, and then you follow that little glimmer of hope, and then it leads to a bigger light and a bigger light and a bigger light. And as the years progress, I found you look back and think, I can't even remember how bad it was to begin with now. Honestly, that's how long ago it seems to me. So yeah, it's fighting. You have to fight. You have to fight. You have to fight. I can't say you have to want it and all that crap, okay? If you're angry, use that anger. Use that anger to go for a walk. Start walking every day, 5 minutes. Rest when you need to. You know your body. Rest when you need to. But a lot of the people I know that got better, that are living full lives, had the mentality that they didn't stop. As in, when I mean they didn't stop, they would push themselves when they needed to. They wouldn't go walking one day and say, hey, I'm going to take 2 weeks off now. No, they would every day go out. They wouldn't avoid supermarkets. They were very active. A lot of them were mums. They have kids. Life carries on. You've got to take your kids to school. You've got to cook. And over time, they adjusted to it. They were active. And then mentally, they did everything they could to get better, as in realizing it wasn't just take a magic pill or you go for a walk and you're going to get better. They realized there were so many aspects to it. It's a massive pie chart, literally, with so many things. Get enough sleep, eat the right foods, sometimes avoid your trigger foods, friends, drama, work, everything. They understood it was like a big pie chart, and every single thing there will lead to them getting better. Okay, whereas for me, my pie chart was, the whole thing was magic pill. Find the magic pill and you'll get better. Do you see what I mean? The mindset there, that's what I mean by mindset. So I'm off now, guys, but that is how it worked for me. Yes, it can come back. I feel I could be in the dormant stage and it could come back when I hit the menopause. I'm 42. If I'm around extreme stress again constantly all the time, yeah, it will probably come. I know it will come back. And again, I hope I have the knowledge now and the strength that I will be able to do it again and recover again like I am now. That's all I can hope in life, because I'm always going to have it. It's a neurological disease. It's always going to be there, okay? But overall, I used my anger to help myself move forward, basically. I got to a stage where I was so angry. I'm like, no, do you know what? I'm going out today. I'm going to walk today. I'm going to that bar today. I'm going to that cafe. I'm going to meet my friends. And the more I did it, and the more I did it, and the more I did it, easier it got. And the less dizzy I felt. Okay.